to business life. So today being the Wednesday, the middle of the week, and we have lot many queues lining up from the entire world up to the national. Of course, our national news was completely dominating the entire world as on yesterday, including today as well, because the retaliation towards the Pulwama attack, what happened in the country upon the CRPF Jawans. So yesterday India took a entire thing into their stride. It was called as the surgical strike 2.0. Yes, the result was amazing, a great result found out by the getting to the Air Force. They have given an excellent kind of winning kind of a strategy was followed. So what has been seen as on today is, as per the central government ministry, Union Minister Sushma Swaraj, what she said was, this was only a non-military attack. In fact, as they didn't want to get the issue escalated further, so that's one of the reasons why they haven't gone for the military kind of an attack, and it was only an air strike. So here what we see is markets have cheered, of course, after opening with a slight panic down towards approximately about 100 points lower. Then the markets took a sharp recovery and ended with a minor losses somewhere about 25 to 30 points onto the index side, if I am talking about the NSE spot Nifty 50. But whereas the future also remained quite strong, and there was huge short covering which was witnessed yesterday in the markets. So as on today, before we take into the look into the Asian markets, what we can see as of now, that US markets last night actually given a kind of a choppy session. Entire markets have closed about 33 points of minor losses. And today, if we look into the Asian markets, of course, the entire Asian markets are trading into the green zone, except one exchange, that's the Taiwanese exchange right now, which is trading about minus 18 points, and our very own SGX Nifty is right now stronger by 50 plus points, that's trading at 10,873. So right now, given the indications, markets are looking to open with a gap up today. So let's ask our guest today. I have Mr. Chirag Solanki from Carvey Stock Broking. So Mr. Chirag, I welcome you to the show. So what do you expect being the expiry week?
Being the expiry week, we are expecting the Nifty to close somewhere in the range of 10,900 to 10,950. Looking at the total, the overall options data, it is clearly hinting that we are likely to close around those levels, until and unless we see some kind of a selling coming through in in the second half of the trade, because the first half or the initial moments of the trade will possibly be on the upside, because the SGX Nifty is trading around 30 to 35 points higher right now, and we are expecting the Nifty to move higher, and we have recommended a buy in the Nifty as well. So buy around 10,850, stop loss will be 10,790, upside targets can be 10,970.
Okay. Looking into the markets entire advances and declines as on yesterday, the advances were about 19 stocks which have closed in gains, and the declines were about 30 stocks in the Nifty 50 index, and the unchanged stock was 1. And in BSE 200, what we see is 89 stocks were closed in advances, and the declines were about 110, and of course the unchanged were 2 stocks in BSE 200. And the top 5 gainers in Nifty 50, they are Z Telefilms, Tata Motors, Indian Oil Corporation, Coal India, Tata Consultancy Services. They all closed with a major gains of about 2.4% to 6% higher. And what we look into the 5 stocks which have been on the losing streak yesterday, the major index losers were about 5. That's India Bulls Housing Finance, HCL Technologies, HDFC, the NBFC arm, the ICICI Bank, and the Infosys, of course. So there were 2 stocks from the IT sector, and there were 2 from the NBFC sector, and 1 was a bank, private sector bank. So the 2 stocks of IT and at the same time 2 stocks from the NBFC sector, is there any kind of a correction still remaining, or this was just a news impact yesterday?
Well, we expect NBFCs to remain a little bit under pressure in the days to come. We are recommending a short in India Bull Housing Finance, so you can go short in the counter around 655 to 650 levels for downside targets of 625 to 620. Upside stop loss will be 675. The other one is HDFC. Now HDFC, we do not want you to short right now. Just wait for it to consolidate a bit. I mean, if it breaks below the 1820 or 1800 mark, that is where you go short. Until then, it is a good buying opportunity in the counter.
All right. So as we look into the commodity futures yesterday, what we see is a small amount of gains were seen in the precious metals, especially the gold and silver, have closed with the gains of about 0.20 and 0.12 simultaneously. That is the silver, which closed about 0.12%, that's about 40,054 with the gains of about 48 rupees, and gold futures, we have seen about 67 rupees gains for in the entire closing session yesterday. 33,367 was the closing price. And coming to the crude oil market actually for the past 2 days we have seen they have been profit booking, and at the same time shorts were also created in crude oil, which actually given a slight bounce back. As on yesterday, it closed with about 20 points higher, with about 39.52 was the closing price. So can we are we looking at any kind of a rebound in the oil energy?
Well, if we look at the chart pattern of the crude oil that is trading on MCX right now, it is currently placed around somewhere around 4,080, 4,085. So it has given a decline in yesterday's session, and we feel that if the commodity takes some support somewhere around 4,000 levels, it is likely to move higher thereafter. But if that level is broken, then it is likely headed towards 3,600, 3,500 in the short to medium term.
Okay, so can we suggest any stocks to our viewers from your company, like expiry trade or anything, or something they can go for the month of March series?
Yes, I have a few stocks for that. We are recommending Adani Enterprises, so you can buy the stock on decline somewhere around 135. Stop loss will be 131, upside targets can be 141 to 145. The other one is Cummins India. It has witnessed some kind of a good pullback from lower levels, so buy the stock around 720, 725. Stop loss will be 700. Upside targets can be 758 to 765. On the short side, as I already mentioned, India Bull Housing Finance. Along with that, we recommend L&T with a stop loss of 1305, for downside targets of 1210. And Lupin is another stock which is looking weak. Despite having a USFDA approval, the stock has not moved higher. It indicates that the stock is likely to witness selling pressure. So we recommend you to sell only if it sustains below 770 levels. Stop loss will be 790. Downside targets can be 740 to 730.
Okay. So viewers, watch out for a couple of stocks which are in news today, because there could be a corporate announcement in regard to Ambuja Cement dividend as on today, and there are also company meetings. The board meetings would be had by the companies called Allahabad Bank, Merck, Rain Industries, Syndicate Bank, Tata Metallics, and results will be announced by Merck and Rain Industries. So these are the stocks. Watch them closely, and then you can take a decision whether to buy or sell, and take your experts' views at the same time. And or if you want to want more insights regarding any kind of a stock, especially into the NSE and BSE large caps, mid caps, we would definitely suggest you can mail us at anilsingh@cvrinfo.com, anilsingh@cvrinfo.com. We can get back to you with all these details pertaining to either fundamental analysis, or it could also be the technicals of the companies, and we can also help you whether it can be taken for a shorter term or a longer term investment duration. Now there is Rain Industries, which have been buzzing last year in 2018, and it has been a star of the most of the stocks which were trying to perform in the mid cap segment. So is there any spark still left, or somebody can try to buy this for a medium term?
Well, as far as Rain Industries is concerned, we are not recommending a buy in Rain Industries, whereas competitor companies like Graphite and HEG are looking good on charts despite the decline, because they are witnessing good kind of buying. but rain industry has seen a one side fall from the higher levels of somewhere around 475 to a current level of 108, and it is still looking weak. So if it doesn't sustain or hold around the 80 or 85 mark on the downside, we are expecting the stock to crack even further towards say 30 or 40 over the next 1 to 1.5 year. So we do not recommend rain industry as of now. We will just wait for the stock to consolidate and see as to what comes of it on the fundamental front. As far as the same sector stocks are concerned, HEG and graphite are the stocks which we are looking at.
Okay, we have a caller right now. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, sir. My name is Sukanya. I'm calling from Bangalore.
Okay.
I'm planning to invest in some shares. What do you think is the best option for me?
Okay. Are you a beginner, a newcomer in the markets?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any friends or relatives, already investing in the markets? Because you being the newcomer into the markets, I believe you must be aware of the risks and the rewards which are involved in investments.
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. What do you do? Are you studying or working?
I'm doing my MBA, sir.
Okay.
So I want to invest money.
Okay. Good. That's really appreciable. I really tell you, because newcomers, especially if you start early at an age less than 20, even there are many teenagers who are already doing this. Even if you are doing it in your late 20s also, it's one of the kind of aggressiveness what you are getting into the markets, because even markets are aggressive at the same time. So if you want to take risk, you also bound to get that kind of rewards. But yes, trade with very strict stop loss, either for a short term, medium term, or maybe long term. So get into the investment part first, because being a newcomer to the markets, there are definitely some good large cap stocks which would have lesser amount of volatility for you to begin with. Actually, definitely we have our expert who can suggest some good names for you to start with some small quantities of shares buying. Chirag.
Yes, I would like to appreciate her since she is starting early in life, and this is very important if you want to build a massive portfolio over the next few years of your life. And for the same, we are recommending stocks from one of our flagship products from the house of Karvi, that is Wealth Maximizer. We recommend you for long term, that is Bharti Infratel, HCL Technologies, Hindustan Unilever, ICICI Bank, and L&T. These are the top 5 preferred bets from our end as far as the large caps are concerned. As far as value investing is concerned, we also have a flagship report called Value Invest. Now in this report, we are focusing mainly on mid caps and mid to small caps. So Bajaj Electricals, Finolex Cables, Jain Irrigations, KPR Mills, and Menon Bearings are these are the stocks that we are recommending for long term portfolio building.
Good. So we wish you all the best, and hope you will come back to us with your experiences, as I've already given our mail ID as well. If you identify any stocks and you want any detailed analysis of that, you're most welcome. You can also mail us at anilsingh@cvrinfo.com. So coming to the next important news, Reliance Industries has clarified on the news that the company was actually a front runner to take over Garden Vareli brand. Actually, the company says it was merely a speculation in the media space. There is no truth about it. Now, coming to the second important news, that is Tata Steel has approved raising about 4,000 crores via NCDs, that's the non-convertible debentures, with green shoe option of up to 1,000 crore. So any viewers who are interested, because this is one of the leading companies and an index stock, and from the house of Tatas, one can think of getting into the NCDs of Tata Steel. Now coming to MRF, MRF has given the entire details about the strike which has been called off in its Chennai plant. So what is the impact going to be on MRF stock?
1 second, I'll just check that out for you.
Okay.
See, whenever there is a strike of such kind anywhere in the globe or with regards to any company, the implications are pretty bad. We had seen that when Maruti had a similar problem a few years back, the stock had cracked big time. But MRF has already been falling significantly lower, from the past few months. And if I have to say, in the month of December 2018, the stock was quoting somewhere around 69,000 or 69,500. and right now it is trading somewhere around 55,000 to 56,000. So that is a sizable decline in itself, and I think if the news has been factored in, this is for the simple reason that the strike has been there since early February. So that news has already been factored in, so one can look at value buying. I mean, if you look at the monthly chart of MRF, it is around the support level, so go long with the stop loss of 50,000 for upside targets of 70,000 in 1 to 1.5 year.
Okay. Coming back to the important stocks which are in ban period as on today, the expiry is about getting to the happening and in this week. So we have couple of stocks which are in ban period. So let's know those names. That's Adani Enterprises, Adani Power, IDBI Bank, Jet Airways, Reliance Power. And along with this, the stock which is out of ban is Allahabad Bank, and we were expecting actually Allahabad Bank to perform literally kind of on the upper side. Is there any option to look into this kind of small PSU banks apart from the flagship banks?
Well, Allahabad Bank offers good quality as far as the smaller PSU banks are concerned. I mean, it is one of the best in the smaller denomination price, PSCs or public sector enterprise or PSU banks. So we recommend you to start biting into the stock slowly. The stop loss for this trade will be somewhere around the level of say 40 to 38 on the downside for a short to medium term trade, and the upside targets can be 50 to 52.
Okay. And we have couple of more stocks which are in news today. That's Bharat Electronic, which says they have signed an accord with Bharat Forge, and of course we have seen a strong upsurge in Bharat Forge yesterday. So can that be looked into for a short term buy or maybe a medium term, because Bharat Forge has been struggling a lot of days actually?
Yes, it has been struggling, and we were bearish on this counter say a couple of weeks ago, and our target was also achieved, but ever since our target was achieved, the stock has witnessed a sharp rally, and the stock is actually trying to bottom out. So the stock is also, I mean, the pre-opening or the stock is opened somewhere around 510 today, and it is sustaining thereabout. So wait for a decline towards 505 or 500. Go along with a stop loss of 490 for upside targets of 530 in Bharat Forge.
Oh, great. Okay, so we have a stock that is Adani, which has emerged as the Guwahati airport the highest bidder. So Adani group, how are they performing, because Adani Ports and Adani Enterprises have been in the news?
Yes, they've been into news for different reasons. There are different news associated with both the stocks, and as I had mentioned earlier in the show that we are bullish on Adani Enterprises. So buy it around the current price. The current price is somewhere around 134, 135. You can go long in the counter. The stop loss will be 131. Upside targets can be 141. Whenever a company acquires a a number of big projects. Now an airport project is a big one, and not sure about the size of the project that the Adani group has received as far as the airport news is concerned. So, however, the stock has been witnessing good buying activity in the last 4 to 5 sessions ever since the news came out, and the stock is likely to witness good kind of positive momentum as we are, and that is also a reason for us to recommend a buy in the counter.
Okay, the markets have opened now. The Nifty spot trading at 10,892 with gains of about 56 points, and the Sensex is trading with the gains of about 224 points at 36,196. And we also looked at the US dollar, the USD INR has with opened with a negativity about 5 paisa 0.05%. and 0.08% right now trading at negative territory. So the USD INR is also going to give us a kind of good cues today for the markets, and whereas we see look into the top gainers as on today, the Corporation Bank is trading with about 7.5% higher. Time Techno, IOB, Adani Power and Lakshmi Vilas, these are the stocks which are trading from minimum of about 4% to 6% higher today in this market, and the top losers right now are Max India and Sadbhavna Industries, LG Equipment, Arcom, Wipro, they all are trading somewhere about minimum about 2% to 5% lower. So the reason actually Wipro has been an outperformer for the past couple of weeks we are seeing. So Wipro has, getting into a profit zone today because it was really higher on yesterday, traded at around 388 and so that kind of a figure, but right now it has been falling by about 8 to 9 rupees and trading at 380.
Yes, there is a foreign brokerage report which has come out with the fact that the stock is trading at a premium. Hence, we are witnessing some kind of a sell-off in the stock. So that is only one brokerage which has come out with such kind of a report. But if you look at the overall trend, such kind of declines must be used as buying opportunities in good quality stocks. And Wipro, as I mentioned in yesterday's show as well, has been a wealth creator for more than 30-35 years. So this is a very good stock that one should definitely add to the portfolio, irrespective of what the valuation is, because over the long period of time, this will give you good returns.
And the index gainer, if we look at the Nifty 50 index gainer, the Yes Bank is the top gainer, 2.5% with a gain of about 5 rupees, trading at 235. And Reliance is gaining about 1%, strong 1232 rupees right now. Axis Bank is stronger by 1%, trading at 718. TCS is slightly trading at about 0.5%, 0.3% right now at about 2000, around about 38 levels. And HDFC, which was a top loser yesterday, one among the top 5 losers, trading in green right now about 0.6% higher by about 1865 rupees. And if we look at the 52-week high stock, currently UPL is trading at about 863 rupees with gains of about 8 rupees, 1% higher right now. And the volume, high volume buzzers, if we look into, that's Max India, being sold off at about with a higher volume, trading down by about 7%, and Indian Overseas Bank is trading with higher volumes, about 6% higher. That's about 13 rupees 70 paisa. So can anybody look into such smaller banks, as we were talking about the small PSU bank?
See, among PSU banks, the first preferred bet is SBI. It is a part of our Wealth Maximizer report as well. So we would recommend you to go long in SBI. Now, you can buy it for upside targets of 350, and we are bullish on the counter. Apart from that, Allahabad Bank is one stock that I have already mentioned in the show. So you can buy it with a stop loss of 38 for upside targets of 55 to 56.
Right. So we have NBCC coming into news. They have won an order for executing agency for Raipur Smart City. And we also have Kotak Bank, which approved the raising of FII or FPI limit to 45% from 43%. So we need to wait and watch how this news could span over the day. And ARCOM actually wins the case on past dues liability on spectrum sale. ARCOM can move to DOT for not to spectrum sale actually. So let's wait and see. As of now, ARCOM is trading onto the negative territory. So is this kind of stock, especially if we talk about Kotak Bank, which has approved the limit of 45%, what does it mean to the stock?
Well, see, Kotak Bank has been witnessing selling pressure over the past few sessions, and the stock has been making a consolidative pattern within a range of somewhere around 1260 to downside levels of 1220. So this 40-45 point range is where the stock is consolidating right now. So technically it is in a no trade zone until and unless it tries to move higher or it tries to move lower. So clearly indicating that we are not, the stock is not likely to witness any kind of strong momentum on either side as far as this news is concerned. The momentum can be seen only if it breaks below 1220 or if it breaks above 1260, which is around 20-25 points. I mean, it is at the midpoint right now. So you wouldn't want to enter into a trade and get stuck up in this counter for a few days and on the other hand miss out other opportunities.
Okay, let's look into the FII flows and along with the DIIs as well. As on the 22nd of February, the FIIs were net buyers for about 6,311 crores, and on the 25th of February, they were net buyers to about 2,134 crores, and on the 26th, and the FIIs were again net buyers for about 1,674 crores. And if we look into the DII figures, on the 22nd of Feb, they were the net buyers 838 crores, and in fact DIIs turned into net sellers on the 25th by selling about 1746 crores, and they were also again net sellers on the 26th as well, that is about 720 crores as the provisional figures show here. And if we look into the 52-week lows as on yesterday, Tata Chemicals went down to a 52-week low of about 550 rupees and had an LTP price of about 558. TVS Sri Chakra made a 52-week low of about 2201. Alchem Laboratories went up to a 52-week low of 1726. Cadila Healthcare also had a 52-week low yesterday, 305, and Cochin Shipyard 335 was the 52-week low as on yesterday. So if we look into these stocks, there is about a couple of stocks which are slowly creating new 52-week lows. So these kind of frontliners like Tata Chemicals, if we talk about Cadila Healthcare at the same time. So what does it indicate in these markets?
Well, if we look at the stock quality of Tata Chemicals, it is a very good counter, but such kind of a fall must be used as a buying opportunity for long term. People have been waiting for this stock to correct, and now that it has corrected, it gives us a right opportunity to enter. However, you should enter the stock in tranches because you never know how big the fall is going to be. So buy 50% of the intended quantity at current levels, average somewhere around 480 to 500 with a stop loss of somewhere around 450 for upside targets of 750 to 800 over the next 1.5 to 2 years.
Okay, so we before we end today's news update, in fact we also would like to tell our viewers about the 52-week highs. The UPL has been again in the 52-week high zone as on yesterday 857, and today again it is trading at the 52-week high. And Wipro, yesterday it was at trading at 52-week high about 388. Bata India, again it was a 52-week high yesterday 1329. Axis Bank with a high of 52-week high of 734. SKF India was the last stock to make in the large caps about 2010 rupees was a 52-week high. So viewers, with this note we end our today's Business Live program, and if you want to have any more information and have any queries regarding stocks or any other investment scenarios, you are most welcome to send us your queries and email us at anilsingh@cvrinfo.com. Thank you very much for watching the show. We will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.